Hey, welcome back or welcome to my channel. One of the things I wanted to make sure of when I'm doing this YouTube is that it never interferes with my family and keeps me from taking care of my family. And I just finished a Fowl Match and I wanted to do the video, but it's dinner time, so I've got to make dinner. I've got the oven preheating, and I was just like, you know, I could just go ahead and do the video and while I'm making dinner. So I grabbed the book and I grabbed the camera and brought you out here, so just kind of bear with me, alright? So actually I got the idea for dinner tonight from a Fowl Match, and it's by Sarah Madeline. And for those of you who can't see the cover very well, it's a purple cover. It looks like a flower shop, the outline of a flower shop on the front. And there's a guy on the right hand side of the, or if you're looking straight at it, it'd be on the left hand side, with sandy blonde hair wearing a gray suit. There's a woman with long brown hair standing in front of the flower box in front of the shop wearing a green sweater and orange overalls. And there's a little tan chicken in between them, which I assume is Helga. Helga is a chicken that helps kind of get them together. But anyway, so in the story, Violet, which is the girl, tells Dustin, which is the male main character, that her favorite food is pepperoni roll. And it sounded good, so I was like, I'm gonna look up a recipe and see if I can find a recipe for this. And sure enough, I found a recipe. And I actually didn't find a recipe per se, as much as I found a video on YouTube where a woman, the YouTube channel I think is called Mama J Ray, but I'll put a link to the video in the description below. But anyway, her version looked really easy, and she said she got it from somebody else. But like I said, I didn't look at whatever video she looked at, so I'll link to the description in the description. I'll post a video, link to her video, and you can go check it out and see who it was that inspired her. Anyway, so the story takes place in a place called Thornwood Valley, and the main character, Violet, owns a flower shop that she inherited from a woman that liked her and her mom. She was very close. Violet's parents died when she was like 14 or 15, and her parents, after they died, Darcy, I'm just putting Italian seasoning on this, by the way. Darcy, the owner of the not-so-secret garden, which is the flower shop, brought Violet to live with her and took care of her. And so she raised her, but Violet blames herself for her parents' death. And as everybody keeps telling her, she shouldn't. And they're right, she shouldn't. For those of you who are wanting to know what I'm doing with the food, I just rolled out some Pillsbury pizza crust and cut it in fourths, and then on each fourth I sprinkled some Italian seasoning, putting down 2 slices of mozzarella cheese. On top of that, it'll be 3 slices of pepperoni. Then I'm going to roll them up and throw them in the oven. Pretty simple. But anyway, so Violet grows up and she ends up inheriting the flower shop from Darcy, who raised her after her parents passed away. And then Dustin, his grandfather, his grandparents actually live in the town. They own a farm. And Dustin grew up in the city, but he would spend the summers on the farm. and he had like a financial job, and he decides he wants to. He gets laid off and decides, okay, I'm gonna go back to Grandpa's farm and see what's going on there, you know, and he kind of has a decision to make. Does he want to go back to the city and keep going with his career in finances, or does he want to stay and help his grandfather with the farm? And his grandfather would like him to stay. His grandmother wants him to do whatever it is that he thinks he should do. She doesn't want him to feel like he has to do anything because of his grandfather. And she even tells him he's an old fart, you know. So it's whatever. Do follow your dreams. Don't follow your parents' dreams. Don't follow your grandfather's dreams. Follow your own dreams. So he has to decide if the farm is really his dream. In the meantime, there's Violet, and they annoy the crap out of each other because there's this small business competition, and his grandfather can't compete because his grandfather's too old, and if Dustin doesn't compete, then his grandfather's farm will not benefit from the competition because everybody who participates in the competition gets money to go towards their business, and so it doesn't matter if he wins or not, he just has to participate. But he and Violet decide they're going to do their best to try and win. And but they're stuck together for 4 weeks on these competitions, and there's things like they've got the chicken race, which is where Helga comes in. They've got a treasure hunt. They've got a three-legged race, and a puzzle that they have to solve as a couple. And as you might imagine, none of them are really excited about that. Hang on, I'm going to get behind you guys real quick. I need a little dish. I got to beat up an egg. I'm not sure what the egg did to deserve it, but it says to beat an egg, so I'm sure it deserved it. So yeah, they're doing these competitions. They're not happy about being partnered with each other, and they're absolutely upset that they have to be partnered with each other. And so their relationship kind of grows from that. It is a small town romance, so obviously they are a love interest to one another. Got to get underneath you guys now. Like I said, I was prepared to make dinner, and then it was just kind of an impromptu thing to like, yeah, I'm gonna do the video at the same time. So just kind of bear with me. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, that's what I was looking for. A little brushy brush. Okay, so I mean, but I enjoyed it. Like I said, I've enjoyed the a lot of the rom-coms, the romances, and I could easily see this. Shush, my oven is telling me it's ready. I preheated it to 425. But yeah, so I could see this being, it's not a Christmas story, so it's definitely not going to end up on any like Hallmark Christmas movies, but I could definitely see it as a Lifetime Christmas or a Lifetime romance. That would work. Okay, is that all I need? I'm gonna put some more Italian seasoning. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not, but I'm going to. Why not? I kind of forgot the recipe at this point, so it was simple enough. I just didn't really think to look into it too much, I guess. Okay, hey, guys, straighten up, alright? Alright. Okay. So that's got to be in for 25 minutes. There we go. Alright. So, yeah. Now, her favorite meal is, her comfort food when she's down is macaroni and cheese and fried chicken. But she loves the pepperoni rolls at the Cheese Stick, which is a diner in their town. Like I said, when she mentioned the pepperoni roll, I was just like, yeah, that does actually sound like... There's a sign I saw at one point that said, on a first name basis with the pizza guy, and that absolutely at one point in time in my life could have been me, because I do enjoy a good pizza. And absolutely could have been on first name basis with the pizza guy. But I like calzones and strombolis and pizzas and whatnot. So, where is the chicken bucket? Ah. Chicken bucket. I have chickens myself, so I need... use this one. So right now I'm just kind of making a salad to go with dinner tonight. But yeah, strombolis, calzones, all of that. I like it all. And so when she mentioned the pepperoni roll in the book, I was like, yeah, that sounds delicious. I want it. And so, like I said, I went online to see if there was any kind of recipe, and I saw Mama J. Ray's video, and she made it look pretty easy. So, and like I said, she got her recipe from somebody else, and but I'll link her video in the description, like I said before, and you can go check it out. See if it's anything you'd like to eat. But I'm just like, yeah, I completely relate to Violet, except Violet doesn't like jigsaw puzzles, and I like jigsaw puzzles, so that's something that's different between the two of us. Yeah, she doesn't like jigsaw puzzles, and I don't get it. I like jigsaw puzzles. I actually just bought a jigsaw puzzle. Wasn't a jigsaw puzzle because it was like a box with 10 different jigsaws in it. Those are gonna go with the chickens. Actually, I'm gonna move this over here because I'm gonna skin these. These are cucumbers and tomatoes that came out of our garden, and the egg came out of the chickens. But yeah, my grandmother, when she passed away, I inherited her puzzle collection, and she had like 91 puzzles. And some of them I did and passed on, and some of them I passed on before I even, I think this is easier coming this way. I don't peel vegetables often, guys. But I didn't do all of the puzzles before I gave them away. Some of them I was just like, I don't have an interest in doing this puzzle. Get off. So I just didn't do all of the puzzles. I just did the ones that were interesting to me. And then once I did those, I gave them away. So I don't get, I don't relate to Violet in that way. But I can kind of see like where she blamed herself for her parents' accident. I can also see things from Dustin's point of view, because Dustin was like, I love the city life. I like having everything close by. I can just walk down to the local deli or the local store or whatever. Everything's in walking distance. I don't really have to drive anywhere. Plus, the noise of the city. I've grown up mostly in the city, so that's what I'm comfortable with. But I also get what he is talking about when he says that the life on the farm is a slower pace. And because, like I said, I grew up in the city. I enjoy being in the city. I like living close to train tracks. I know that some people are like, absolutely not, but I don't know. I've just always enjoyed the trains. And, but, you know, now, if I want to go anywhere, like if I want to get to even the local, we're kind of so far out there that even if I want to get to the local gas station, it's a hike if I'm going to walk. So I don't walk. I drive down to the local gas station. And we have like this really small town, probably smaller than theirs because they at least have a business section. We don't have that. We have a gas station, one doctor office, and a post office. That's like literally it as far as businesses. Everything else around here is farm. You know, I like to tell people that my neighbor is an ass because our neighbor is literally a donkey, and he wakes us up every morning with his braying, and it's honestly one of the best things ever, in my opinion. So I get where he's coming from, but I also feel his pain with his grandfather, because his grandfather is like, oh, you gotta be up before the first rooster crows, and it's like, no thank you. The rooster crows at dawn. And let me tell you something. If I'm up before dawn, it's probably because of my insomnia, and nothing good is coming from that. Like, my husband has a couple of times gotten up in the middle of the night and found me sitting at my desk working on one of my novels because I couldn't sleep. And that's okay if you're, you know, a housewife, or, you know, you work from home or whatever. I do not work from home. I work in the next town over, but, you know, when you have to get up in the morning to go to work, and it's a, what, maybe 15, 20-minute drive, or depending on if you hit the school zone at the right time, you know, you need your sleep. So, yeah, I would prefer not to get up before the rooster crows. But I can imagine that you probably get a lot of things done, but like if I'm getting up before the rooster crows, guaranteed I'm going to bed early. And if I'm going to bed early, I have never had this much problem peeling an onion. I tell you what, if I'm going to bed, if I'm getting up before the rooster crows, dollars to donuts, I'm probably going to be getting up, going to bed early too, because I'm going to be crashing out. If any of you are professional chefs and everything, do me a favor, do not judge how I'm cutting vegetables, because I never claim to be a pro. Okay? Let's just get that out of the way right now. Yeah, so the getting up before the rooster crows, I agree with Dustin on that. Grandpa's out of his ever-loving mind. I do like that his grandmother is always covered in flour, because that's kind of reminiscent of my grandmother. She was always cooking, and along with her puzzles, I also got her porch goose and her apron that she always cooked in. This is not it. This is my apron that I got for myself because I wanted an apron. usually have a little jar type thing here that holds all my wooden tools, but I broke it today while I was cleaning up the kitchen after breakfast. So, gotta get a new one of those. That's another thing Violet and I have in common. We are both very clumsy, and I don't know why that we sometimes think that that's gonna change. Like, oh, maybe this day I will be a graceful swan. Excuse me, I gotta get under you here. Yeah, today I'm probably gonna be a graceful swan. Why in the world would my clumsiness affect me today, right? And, yeah, no, that's not how that works. The clumsiness will still affect you because you're clumsy. And that's why it affects you, because you're clumsy. You don't just suddenly, overnight, become a graceful swan, unfortunately, as much as we would love that. Now, usually when I'm cooking, a lot of my scraps I give to the chickens. I do not give them anything that is rotten or bad, because what goes into the chicken comes out in the egg, and so these, where did my compost bin go? Hang on. Yeah, so the onions will go into the compost, the skins and scraps of the other vegetables, the tomatoes and the cucumbers, will go to the chickens. And the chickens are very grateful for that. But like I said, you don't want to give garlic and onions to your chickens, because then you'll have garlicky eggs. That flavor is going to come through in the eggs, I assume. So, let's see, I think that is it as far as that goes. Put this on the table. Put this in the fridge. And that's our salad then. Okay. Great. So, I'll just turn you over here so you can still see me. But, yeah, so, Violet's clumsy, Dustin not so much, and, he's helping his grandfather on the farm, and his biggest argument with his grandfather, other than what time they should get up, is, whether or not an antenna booster should be put on the roof, because Dustin thinks a booster should be put on the roof, because if he puts it on the roof, then the grandparents don't have great reception out on their farm. So he's like, yeah, let me put a booster on the roof. Then if you need help, you'll be able to have help come and get you, and they're not going to have to try and figure out what it is you're trying to get, you know, because they're not second guessing everything. Can you guys see me okay? Let's see. Yeah, you should be able to see me just fine. Move the book over here. Ta-da! So yeah, his grandfather is very much a, no, you're not putting anything on my roof. Don't you even think about it. And he's like, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't notice. So he gets, one of their things is he gets Violet to, they both have projects that they're working on, secret projects that they're working on. And his secret project is, I want to put a booster on the roof of my grandfather's house so that they can call emergency help if they need it. Hers is, I need to find out who this mystery guy Darcy's writing to is. So along with their own relationship that they're working on, you know, because like I said, it's a romance, so he's the male main character, the love interest to Violet, and she doesn't think he's a worthy love interest because he's grumpy, and she keeps calling him Mr. Grumpy. And she's actually very convinced that he cannot smile, like he doesn't know how to smile. So, yeah, he earns the name Mr. Grumpy. So, the only reason she agrees to help him put the booster on the roof is because, like him, she does care about his aging grandparents and wants them to be safe and wants them to be able to call for help if they need it. And he's only willing to help her find out who the mystery person in this journal references because, well, he wants to get the booster on. So he's like, okay, if that's what I have to do, if I have to help you find this silly mystery person, so that you can, so that you'll help me distract my grandparents so that I can get them safely communicated with, then yeah, I'll do it. Fine. But their biggest task, like I said, their biggest thing is the competition because it's like every Saturday of the month that they have to compete. So not only are they competing, and it's like, yeah, okay, fine. They only have to see each other like, what, once a week? Well, no, not necessarily. Again, it's a small town, so they're going to see a lot of each other. And as Violet says, it's such a small town that basically everybody knows everybody else. And that's how she knows that Dustin doesn't necessarily belong there, is because she's like, no, you don't belong here. I've never seen you here. And it's because he spent his summers with his grandparents, and his grandparents never really brought him into town except to take him to the bar to watch a local band play. And so, really and truly, yeah, he has no idea who Violet is or who her friend Olive is, and has no reason to care, really. So, I'll be right back. I gotta get the drying mat. So, yeah, he has no idea who she is. He doesn't care who she is because he's not there during the summers to see pretty girls. He's there to help his grandparents and get away from his parents for a little while. And he loves his parents, but they're a little much for him, you know? And unlike his grandmother, who has an idea of, she's like, hey, you know what, follow your own dreams, do what you want to do, don't worry about somebody else's dreams. His parents are like, well, of course, we want you to be successful, we want you to have lots of money so that we don't have to worry about you, you know, and we don't have to keep supporting you for the rest of our lives. But he doesn't see his parents, he only sees them like once a year. So, he has a relationship with his parents, and he says it's a good relationship, even with his sister. I don't know. I figure if you have a good relationship with your parents, I would assume that that would entail more than just seeing them once a year, you know? And yeah, he sees his grandparents only once a year, because his grandparents, he lives in New York City, and I think this half takes place in Pennsylvania. So it seems like it could be that he could visit them a little bit more often, and he only chooses to see them once a year, but he calls them more often than he does his parents, and he even says that he calls his grandparents and that he's closer to his grandparents. So,